Hi everyone, Jay, it's good to see you again. For those new to the channel, welcome in. We do a lot of sim racing content, we do a lot of F1 Manager content, and with the release of F1 Manager 24 this week, we're going to dive straight in. Now, there's been a lot of emphasis on this release with the creator team mode, and whilst we do have our own creator team mode on the way, I felt for YouTube, well, get an exclusive series going on, and we'll stick with the standard game mode for this one. Introducing our Aston Martin Britannia career, a save that will truly take effect after the first season. Alonso and Stroll have a year left of their contracts. Whilst one may be resigned, the other seat must go to a British driver whose contract is running out that season. The end game, through the years and years of fighting, research and racing, is to battle the leaders of the pack and make Aston Martin a powerhouse in Formula 1 with hopefully 2 British drivers. For those who wanted the creator team mode action, as we speak, we've brought back Jaguar to topple those who took them over 20 years ago, Red Bull Racing, and that will be streamed live on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. There are also additional videos on the channel for those who may need help with drivers' ratings, contracts, so be sure to check all those out on the channel as well. Comment underneath who you're going to be taking over this season, and if you are doing your own creator team mode, then tell me in the comment section underneath. Tell me the backstory of that team. Tell me who you're going to be bringing back, or if you have a completely original team idea, let me know the drivers that you're going to be picking as well. But till then, let's get to it. Let's get behind the desk of Aston Martin. Let's get them straight to the top of the pack. Hopefully. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video and subscribe. And if you want to share, go for it. Check out the links in the video description below, where you'll find the Discord, socials and Twitch account that, as well as racing content, contains other genres of game too. After this video, check out more racing and sports content on the channel, and hopefully I'll see you in the comment section here and in other videos. Enjoy. No dilly-dallying about, I think we get straight to work. After a quick welcome from HR, we can jump straight into the action. First things first though, we need to tackle mentality. Just to let you all know, I don't think some of you are quite ready for how much mentality is going to affect the performance of your drivers, and how hard it is to re-sign some of them when they are feeling demoralized. So what we're going to be trying to do throughout this series is keep everybody happy. They perform better on track, they're easier to negotiate with when contract renewals come up. Only Alonso at the moment has a slight bit of negativity, but we'll deal with that a little later in the season. It's a bit too early now to go into contract renewals, so we'll just let that one play out naturally. Hopefully the performances on the track can perhaps give us a chance to re-sign Fernando if that's the driver we wish to re-sign as the season goes on. Another thing that has been changed has been the scouting. No longer do you get the 2 options of a quick scout and a more extensive scout. You now have 6 days, and that's absolutely fine for us. We have 11 days to a sack here, so let's get some British drivers scouted, and it is the usual suspects that I think a lot of people are going to be scouting straight away: Lando Norris and George Russell. As the days and weeks go on, we will be scouting the likes of Ollie Behrman, Abby Pullen and many other British drivers. With sponsorship negotiations still on the way, 6 days away, with what money we've got left at the moment, we might as well chuck towards getting those facilities upgraded. Mainly operations for now, as car development is still very expensive and it's going to be a very slow build in the future. I have highlighted Suzuka as the race weekend in which we are going to be applying our upgrades. That is over 40 days away, so we're going to check out the strengths of the Suzuka circuit, and from there we're going to make our decision as to what we are going to be upgrading and putting quite a lot of wind tunnel time into. So medium speed and high speed corner upgrades are on their way. Now the front wing and side pod combination has been a little bit OP in previous versions of F1 Manager. Will it be this season? Well, there's only one way for us to find out, but we won't find out the total effects of these until we get to Japan. Till then, we need to claw away and get as many points as we can in the meantime, because this could be a rough season for us. Now, you've all seen a lot of the early access videos by now. If you haven't seen my Arrows ones, please feel free to go check those out, as the sponsor negotiation looks a little bit more exciting them than it does in the normal team mode. You get chosen a primary sponsor package. You decide how much of it is performance reliance, how much you have for engagement, which is your drivers, staff and facilities getting involved, or if you have a massive lump of cash there and then. Due to having an older driver and another driver who I don't think is all that, I've gone for the engagement package. This will mean that their training may decrease, but as I'm only keeping one of the drivers past this season anyway, if it means more money by engaging with the sponsors more, I'm happy to take that hit for now. You also get introduced with plenty of secondary packages. These are a mixture of all three, but be very mindful of which ones you do take, as some have a negative impact on driver marketability, facilities or staff effectiveness. But in the end, all we want is just as much money as possible. After you've negotiated the terms with your sponsors, you now need to get your sponsor plan in place. This is where you try and fill up the engagement bar on the right hand side. Every single one has a negative effect on you in some way or another, so the lower engagement than you agree to, the less of these that you have to put on. So as you can see, driver mentality can go down, development rate, which for Fernando Alonso it seems a no-brainer. Overfilling the engagement bar on the right hand side ensures that after 6 weeks, when we come across this plan again, less engagement points can be spent. So manage this section as wisely as you can. I actually make a very stupid decision here and select the Scout STEM Tour, which means that the 2 scouts that I have, I no longer have available to me for the next 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks of scouting of British drivers that I am now unable to do. Time to get the race targets sorted for both drivers, and I want to try and keep mentality more towards a positive way at the moment, so I'm going to make nice easy ones for them today. I'm also erring on the side of caution because historically, first races of the season, something bad has always happened. Now, I don't usually play these pre-race and qualifying videos. If you don't want to see them in future, let me know in the comments underneath.
Welcome to Sakhir. Doesn't it feel good to be back? The beginning of a brand new Formula 1 season. Every team, every driver, whether rookies or champions, all start here on zero, ahead of another year's battle for glory.
The teams will be utilizing the data they gathered from the pre-season testing here in Bahrain, hoping that they've got everything they need to make a strong start.
Let's get on with the weekend.
Done you all a favour. I've skipped practice, but usually if you watch on the Twitch streams or when we do the YouTube streams at the same time, we usually do the first practice session, then simulate the rest, changing the tune-up settings in between every time. We showed good pace, but we were showing early signs as well of possibly getting double points in quite a few of the races this season. This will help massively, because I feel McLaren and Mercedes are probably going to be our closest rivals. And with how good their sets of drivers are, we could be in for quite a few challenging races. Sending both cars out for their first laps, and pretty happy with Alonso's time there. Stroll, not so much, but we're going to have to see just exactly how quick everybody else in the back of the field is going to be. I would love to be confident and say, let's leave Alonso in the pits and go with his time, but I just don't want to get stung, so we're going to send both out for at least one more run. We may even go for one more lap at the end if things start to get too tight. But so far so good on both times.
With P9. Remember slowing.
It looks like a slight improvement from both. I feel a little bit safer now. And safe we were. Both drivers getting pretty comfortably into the top 15. There is a chance for an elimination in the second part of qualifying, so let's take care. Now you might be wondering what I'm doing here. Usually my first lap on each qualifying session is with scrubbed tyres. This is just so I can quickly get a lap in soon, just in case there's a red flag, then at least we've got a lap in and a good chance of getting into the next queue. I'm only doing this because, and I'm pretty sure some of you experience the same, it has happened before. Okay, first laps at the moment. I think Alonso's going to safely make it through. Stroll, I'm starting to have my doubts. But these are scrub tyres, so once we get our new shoes on, I'm pretty sure we'll both be flying.
P10.
An improvement, but man, this is going to be close. And with Danny Rick and Tsunoda there, we'll see if RB end up pipping us at the end. 2 minutes left in session. Now I can start to get nervous. We don't have enough time to go out and do another lap. I'm sure Alonso's through. But I'm just worried about Stroll, especially with Ricciardo coming through. Ricciardo going to the pits. Where's Tsunoda? There's Tsunoda in the middle. Couple more corners left. And... no! Oh, that hurts. I love Tsunoda as well. I think Tsunoda's a fantastic driver. Stroll is out. But at least we still have Alonso in Q3. Let's see how high we can get him up. First lap of Q3 and, well, P1 because we're the first car that came out. But as the times start to come in, Russell slower, Tsunoda slower, but the big boys well above us. Hamilton only just. Mercedes surprisingly slow here, but with a fresh tyre, we'll go for another chance of that P1. Just wait for everyone to go in, and as the second lot go out, we'll wait till Piastri gets to about halfway around the circuit. Then we'll tell Alonso to go out. A lot easier to manage qualifying in Q3, which means we get a nice clear track in front of us. So last chance of getting a quick lap in. Alonso will start in 7th place. In front of both Mercedes. That's a shocker. But is it as much of a shocker that Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz have got a front row for the first race of the season? Now for the business end of the race, which strat are we going to be using to carry us through the race should no incidents occur and everything goes to plan? As you can see, there's now a D preset for all these strategies. You do have to watch now because the current pace target is sometimes loaded into some of these strategies. So you'll see a one-stopper and think, oh, that looks really quick. But the pace target is automatically set and shown as the lower settings. Likewise, if you see that the estimated race time is a little bit quicker and you think, oh, that's great, watch out because the current pace target might be set so high that you risk doing some extensive damage to your engine or forcing your driver to push a lot harder than he is capable of doing with. Yes, Stroll, I might be looking at you. Both will be going balls to the wall from the very start.
Final checks are being carried out by the teams, and it won't be long until we get this race underway. And here's George Russell settling in for the race.
They start this race in P9, eager to fight for a place in the points.
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? And this is it, the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
I said it so much during the Arrows playthrough, but I absolutely love this helicopter cam. It's amazing. It's just a shame you can't zoom in and out while doing it. There's no chance to hide the UI, so I can't have a nice photo mode. It's all I want. But anyway, pushing Stroll, pushing Fernando Alonso. We've got to set the race pace, fuel and ERS at the start of the race, but doesn't matter because Alonso is already up a position up to 6th. Stroll just hanging about outside the top 11 or top 10 even. What am I saying? We'll get that going for a few laps and we'll see what we can do. See if we can start pushing forward and making our way up the grid with both cars.
Take a look here, and if we watch Magnussen, things were going smoothly. Struggling with the car, and they'll need to be mindful of the effect that had on the tyres.
Now we're only a handful of laps in, but we find ourselves in a pretty good situation for Alonso. Hanging out with the big boys at the top, he's using that DRS to keep as close to the top 3 as possible, and in some cases even stretching out to a big train for the lead. We just need to hope that Alonso can keep up with these faster runners, and that by itself should net us a couple of points. Stroll still struggling in 11th at the moment, but we do have a long-term plan for him. I'm hoping as the race goes on, maybe a few mistakes get made by those at the top, and maybe Stroll can sneak in for a 10th or a 9th position. That's the plan. Will it work? Well, let's have a look. Lap 5, Alonso is battling with Piastri, which in turn is unfortunately causing us to fall behind the leaders, but still a strong position for Alonso, still pushing hard, and I'm very, very confident. Yes! Bye-bye! And I'm very confident that Alonso is going to be our main point scorer, not just for this race, but for the whole season.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
Stroll, finally, up into 10th.
Okay, so heading into turn 1 here. Barely
And
any
now
room to
things
manoeuvre.
might
Has
get
to
a
be
bit
said,
interesting.
That was pretty risky. That will have knocked their confidence, I'm sure.
That could get very interesting.
As for the team back in the garage, that was a tough moment to watch.
Alonso has straight away taken advantage, passing Sainz. Sainz does have damage. So
Let's see
exactly
what
how far is Sainz going to fall down?
Keep watching Alonso with this one. The gap opens
And Alonso
up,
just making short work of his fellow Spaniard.
and Alonso
Easily through. Just wonder exactly how much pace Sainz has lost, because he's still keeping up with Alonso through the DRS. And there's Stroll making a move on one of the Mercedes. Fantastic. Good stuff. Quietly confident that Stroll can just be a consistent lower points picker for us. Then we can use Alonso as the season goes on just to push a little bit harder and try and get those big ones that will put us hopefully ahead of Mercedes and McLaren. Having a look at the live point standings as we see Stroll's up 2 places at the moment. Fernando Alonso 5th in the championship, but for the constructors a safe 4th place, surprisingly ahead of Mercedes. As it's coming up to Stroll's first pit, we're going to push quite hard until then, trying to get the undercut on a couple of cars around us. There are 1 or 2 still peeling off and getting pits in, but nobody seems to be on the exact same strategy as it stands. But then the usual first in the series curse, it strikes again. We could have done without that, especially for Stroll, who's been trying so hard to push through and was actually getting through the field quite nicely as well. Sainz also in the pits as well as Ocon. Now we had Fernando on the long game for his first stint in the soft tyres, but seeing quite a few around him pitting now, we may try and change up the strategy slightly. We might pit Alonso 1 or 2 laps earlier than planned, maybe even as soon as the next couple. And as soon as Verstappen went into the pits and Alonso now leading the race, that's yeah, I think we'll go now. Get over and done with, or if not, we're just going to lose far too many places and potentially be in a battle that we don't want to be in when we get back out the pits. So earlier than usual pit stop, but it's fine. We can give ourselves enough time to react for the rest of the race and hopefully not make another slight mistake like that again. Much better pit stop from Alonso's side, and Piastri is sort of our benchmark to get behind, and that's kind of what has happened. It just shows just how consistent Stroll's been at the moment at the same time, getting into that 8th place behind Alonso. Now we just take it easy for this middle section of the race and just be prepared in case anything extreme happens.
Understood.
A handful of laps later though, we find that we have a little bit of a problem. We have a little bit of a George Russell problem. Russell going on the softer compound means that he's managed to catch straight up to Stroll and dispatches of him pretty easily. And now our next where he is he after Fernando? Let's just hope that Tsunoda doesn't have any similar ideas.
Behind you, Tsunoda.
Spoiler alert, it only took 7 laps for Tsunoda to have the same idea. Alonso now battling with Norris. Norris, after coming in for his second pit stop, has the better softs. So it's just a matter of time till that 3 seconds. Oh, that 3 seconds already going under 3 seconds. Only a matter of time, I think, until Norris gets back past Alonso.
Now this one involves Stroll. The opportunity's there. And Lance Stroll makes the overtake.
And this is good because after Tsunoda overtook us, we were still quick enough to keep up with Tsunoda, but Tsunoda was also quick enough to keep up with George. So our battle with George continues, and fingers crossed, once we get Stroll in for the pits, we're going to push now as our mediums start to go towards the end of the part in the strategy, and hopefully George's softs start falling away very, very soon.
Tyres already hotter than we want.
We've just got to hope for a nice quick pit stop this time, and the undercut will be complete.
Take confirm. Good.
Are you kidding me? Are you? You've left your tyres behind, mate.
Hello, I'm sorry about the issue. Watch the pit exit line.
2 issues in one race for one driver. If Stroll still somehow makes it in the points, then
So Lance, you're currently P10.
an amazing job. He's currently got 10th, and now he can go on cruise control for the rest of the race.
On the tyres at the high speed, but
We're
don't
slightly
go
more
over the
aggressive
circle.
though, just so we can keep some pace up.
The full lift in 3.
Decent pit stop from Fernando. 2.7 is okay. It's just
Should be clear on
okay.
exits. Should be clear on exits.
With just over 15 laps left, 7th and 8th place for Alonso and Stroll. We just need to get into cruise control for now. Hope for no stupid mistakes. And a 7th and 8th place would actually be, for this channel, a personal best for a first in the series, because usually something goes horrifically wrong.
Okay.
And with 2 laps left, it nearly did.
2 more
I
laps.
realised right at the end that we've been pushing Stroll for the whole last section of the race, forgetting to put his tyres back onto balanced. That was a close one. But also Alonso, as we're about to find out in a second, we nearly run out of fuel as well. Oh my god, we nearly finished the race with 2 DNFs. But also because of our stupidity and forgetting to sort out the tyres for Stroll, it allowed George to steal some championship points from us. The only problem we've got now is Yuki is catching closer and closer. This could be a bit of a nail biter.
All okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
Okay.
And whilst it's a great 7th place finish for Alonso, Tsunoda's getting closer and closer, and this is literally going to be nail biting. Last corner. Come on, Stroll, you got it. We're going to risk a puncture.
On the tyres.
Oh my god, how close Tsunoda is, and we just get it. Oh, that was close. 0.124 of a second.
You had good
Whew.
pace.
Man, I don't want to go through that ever again.
That was tough. But that was fun.
Glad you found it fun. Jeez.
Well, what a race that was. And there, of course, we see Lance Stroll heading in.
A P9 finish today and some points on the board.
And that is about that for this weekend's action here in Bahrain.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
Bit of a scary end there, but 7th and 9th, a handful of points, 8 points, and surprisingly we're above Mercedes. Mercedes I thought were going to be the 3rd best team this season, but McLaren have really pulled it out the bag, and maybe they're going to be the ones to watch out for in a season or 2 times, depending on how well their development goes. But that double long stop for Stroll may have cost him a position. I would say that's a really rare first time ever on a first episode of a series where everything has actually gone okay. We got a little bit of luck early with Sainz having a little bit of an accident which sort of spread the field out a little bit and stopped a lot of people from getting DRS and getting too far away from us, but Alonso kept with the big dogs for a while. Stroll made his way up the field pretty nicely as well. All of that without too many incidents, if any at all, and not a large damage bill afterwards. So, like I say, all in all, I think we're well on the way to getting a good points haul for this first half of the season. Something I've noticed though, Mercedes really struggled at that circuit, and with Saudi Arabia Jeddah next, I feel like we've got a fantastic chance to get at least another 8 points after that. But this time, let's just try and actually keep an eye on tyres and fuel, because we very nearly, so close, had a double DNF, and I would be in a much worse state right now, talking to you like right now. That actually was the case, but we survived, good points, we roll on to the next episode. But thank you all so much for watching the first. If you haven't already, get the thumbs up in, subscribe, check out the rest of the stuff that's done on the channel, especially with the sim racing stuff as well. There's going to be various F1 Manager 24 streams this week, and maybe even episode 2 will come along a little bit earlier this week as well. We'll have to wait and see for that one, but thank you again for watching. Take care of yourselves, but most importantly, please make sure you take care of each other.